Welcome back to The Takeover. I'm your host, Matt Johnson. And today we're going to have a kind of a unique episode. We've basically thought about this idea for a while, and we finally got some feedback from you guys, and we're enabling this thing to happen today, and that is a Q&A episode. So I've been taking some feedback in the email inbox from you all. Thank you so much for those of you who are writing in to matt@thetakeoverpodcast.com. Been getting some good feedback on there as well as social media. Thank you so much for watching the show, listening to the show as a podcast, and sharing it on social media. That's been really helpful. And of course, it's extremely helpful for us to go ahead and to rate and review the show on iTunes if you're listening on iTunes. But today we're going to do a special Q&A takeover session with just me. It's just going to be a Solocast here, and I'm going to read some questions from some folks who are industrial leadership, industrial distribution, ownership, and manufacturer as well. So we've got about 3 questions here, and I'm going to go through them with you. I'm going to read the question, and then I'm going to do my best to answer it. I have looked over these questions already, so I have a little bit of an idea of what I'm going to say, but hey, I'm just going to wing it, and hopefully I give some good advice here on this episode. So we're going to start off right off the bat with the first question. So, hi Matt, I own a regional-based industrial distribution company in Mississippi. Right now, we have a very basic website built on Joomla. It's like 7 years old, in parentheses. And P21 ERP software from Epicor. We are thinking about adding e-commerce capabilities for our good customers, but we do not, and these are all in all caps, we do not want to sell 2 pairs of gloves or 1 set of fasteners to Tom, Dick, or Harry browsing the internet. What system do you recommend for our solution? Will our existing customers even want to use the website to place orders, or will they continue to place orders through our sales reps the way they always have? In question. All right. So there's quite a few questions. There's actually 2 or 3 questions there in this email. So I'm going to try to hit I'm going to try to hit a couple of these at the same time here. So first of all, you said that you are using Joomla. Okay, so the first thing I would say right off the bat is, and you even said it's like 7 years old, and I believe that because about 7-8 years ago, maybe even further, Joomla was a very popular website platform, kind of like WordPress is today. The only problem with Joomla is that it is not very popular with developers anymore. So that means there's not a lot of support. There's not a lot of cool plugins or extensions or customizations that you can make to the website. And they haven't been updating it very well either. So that makes maintaining a good site more difficult for you. I'm willing to guess. I don't know. I haven't looked at your website, but I would be willing to guess that you haven't updated it in quite a while, because it's difficult for you, and that's one of the other drawbacks with Joomla. So that's the first thing I would say. That's the first thing that hit me was the Joomla. We need to probably get you off of Joomla and onto something a little more recent, something that is more favored by Google spiders, like something like a WordPress, that sort of thing. So you also said that you have P21, which is enterprise software made by a company called Epicor. Very good ERP system. And in fact, so you said, what system should we look at for e-commerce? And as it so happens, Epicor does have an e-commerce add-on that you can purchase. And from what I understand, it is very good. So the problem there might be, the only drawbacks with that, obviously the upside is that it'll be fully integrated with your existing enterprise software, which is cool. So it's going to be able to tell you inventory levels and all of that sort of thing. The major drawback I see for most distributors who are smaller, like you guys, more regional, is that you're probably lacking good quality product content. And so that means that likely you have content that you have in your ERP system, and that, of course, that is limited. So your content may not be very rich. So you may not have the best images. If you even do have images, you may not have accurate, legible product descriptions. It may be just like a few sentences that don't really do the product very, very much justice. So the buying experience for that website may be lacking. But if your customers know exactly what they order, and they always order the same thing over and over again, they're just looking up part numbers and and placing an order, I think that could work very, very, very well. And I've also heard that it's a bit on the expensive side. So when you get an integrated system like that, you're going to have to pay for it. So you're going to have to weigh the pros and the cons on whether or not it's worth it. On the upside, in terms of streamlining your processes with order entry, or whether it's if you have enough volume, I guess, to merit that sort of investment. That'd be something you would need to look at. Then the other question that I have in here is as it relates to selling B2C, aka Tom, Dick, and Harry. So yeah, that's a common. I've actually heard that quite a bit. That's a common concern, I guess, because I think the concern is that you don't want to get somebody coming in and slowing down your account team and ordering just a few little products you make very little margin on, and at the end of the day you have to handle those things, and you really lose all the margin on the order by the time you get that thing out the door and ship it. So that I can understand why that'd be a concern to not want to sell to B2C buyers, but there are some things to think about there, right? So I know you said that you don't have any interest in selling B2C, but there are some ways that you can set up a public-facing, front-facing website, an e-commerce site, so that you can attract larger buyers, but at the same time discourage smaller buyers. So a lot of the e-commerce platforms today give you the ability to do quantity breaks on your products. So, for example, you can have minimum order quantities. That's one way to discourage, the one-off buyers. And you can also set your pricing on the front end side. You can set the pricing higher if you're, really, you'll take the order as long as the margin is there. I know that you will. So one way to think of it is, hey, if somebody wants to buy off the front end website and not use like a B2B account, then that their price is going to be higher than the rest of our customers. But if they want to use the B2B account and they want to buy in bulk, and they want to buy at their special pricing, and they want to hit that pricing that they have agreed with us upon, then then they get that discount. So that is one way to think of it, and a lot of distributors do that, and they do that very well. And essentially, the way that you can think about that front end site, it's sort of like a lead generation tool at that point, right? Because you're getting those rogue buyers, those guys that are out there with a credit card who are just buying onesie twosie things. But you can capture that information off the front end of the website, hand it over to a sales rep, and maybe they can turn that into something much bigger. Maybe you can figure out who that person's boss is, and they can maybe go up the food chain and maybe see about getting a better account, offer them better terms, that sort of thing. So, it's not always a bad thing, but I will say this, that I do work with a couple of distributors that specifically do not want to have a forward-facing or public, crawlable e-commerce site. They like to have like a line card on the front end side of the website that shows prospective buyers like what kind of brands they carry, but they're not necessarily going to say what everything that they have is in stock, and they don't want to list all of those products out for the public to see. So what they'll do is they'll just have the front end site be there for information, sort of like a nice brochure, and be able to give them contact information out to their prospects and customers and that sort of thing. But they'll have a place on the site where you can log in, and so you go to customer login and you enter a screen. It's gated with username and password. Once they get in through there and they have their own account, then they can see the shopping cart and they can shop and end up purchasing through that way. So that is one way to do that. So I think that I answered that question about the Tom, Dick, and Harry. One other thing I would say is that you can, as because you said you're a regional distributor, you can, basically the way that you set up your website, if you have a good marketing person or a team that you're working with, you can make sure that your site is optimized for local search as opposed to national. So what we try to avoid is using so broad of terms so that you end up getting customers from all over the country or even all over the world. And those of course you don't really want those, because you're gonna the shipping costs are gonna be high, and it's you're really not gonna make them happy because you're in a different state or even a different country. So there is a way to make sure that you're really only attracting the local traffic, the local buyers. So B2B buying experience, and this is the kind of last thing I think you asked about. You asked, will our customers even want to use the website to place orders, or will they continue to place orders the old-fashioned way, right? The old school way. And this is a very good question. I think this is something that we're going through right now as an industry, as distributors, that we're faced with kind of two different types of buyers, if you will, right? On one hand, you have your traditional industrial buyer, and they prefer to have a sales rep call on them from time to time, maybe once a month or once a quarter, visit them even on site, run through a tool crib or run through, a safety supply cabinet, and get that on-site consultation, talk to somebody, figure out what I need to order, place the order directly with the sales rep. That certainly is not going away, but we're seeing it kind of I wouldn't say replaced, but we're seeing it what's the word? We're seeing it we're seeing a new type of buyer kind of emerge, alongside of that older, more traditional buyer, and it really doesn't even have anything to do with age, by the way. It's not like you have millennial buyers over here who like to avoid human beings and traditional sales process and go straight online to purchase products, and then over here you have all of the older people. It's not necessarily the case. It's just two different types of buyers. So, and it really comes down to personality and expectations on what the purchasing process looks like. So, your traditional buyer is going to appreciate the hands-on, specialized service that you offer as a distributor, whereas the person who wants to just get in and get out, they have a different process. So somebody who wants to get in and get out, they've already done their homework, so they've already researched the products that they need. They already know they don't need a consultant to come in and help them figure that out. They're looking for speed and ease of use. And on the other hand, the traditional buyer is looking for value-added service, okay? So the thing that I would do, the first thing I would do if you're asking this question and you want a legitimate answer, is to ask your customers. I mean, I know that sounds really simple and maybe you've already thought of that, but how about doing a survey and asking your customers how they like to purchase? You may be surprised to learn that, this could go either way. You might have a split 50-50, and you've been investing all of your dollars in outside sales reps, and I don't want any outside sales reps coming at me and threatening me. So I'm not saying that we should get rid of your jobs. I'm just saying that you've invested a lot of time and resources and money into human capital But maybe half of your customers would prefer that you spend some more dollars investing in the online experience. And so that might be surprising to you, just to learn how many of your customers would prefer to avoid a sales rep versus talk with one on a regular basis. So that would be one thing I would do, is ask how they like to buy, when do they buy, how frequently do they want to talk to a sales rep, how do they make their purchasing decisions, what are the things that they're looking for, what kind of content do they want on the website, what kind of services do they want from your sales team. If you're not regularly surveying your customers, I think you're really missing out. So I would do that survey, maybe at the beginning of the fall, when people kind of get back into the groove of work, and the buying cycles really speed up. Do that survey then, and that way you give that thing plenty of time to run, and then get together with your leadership team or your sales director and your marketing team and take a look at that survey and ask yourselves, what things can we change heading into the next year as you sit down to do strategic planning. So that would be one thing I would say. And then here's the cool thing, is that there's no reason why you can't do both. There's no reason why you cannot have a customer experience that allows them to choose which road that they can go down when they're working with you, right? So you can say to them, you can put them on an email cycle where you're sending out maybe an email every month or email every quarter, and you're asking them, okay, would you like to talk to a sales rep? Would you like to schedule a phone call with our sales team and begin that traditional buying process? Or would you like to set up an account on our website? Or maybe you already have an account, and would you like to shop these products? And here's some products that you've bought before, and here's some products that you may be interested in that you haven't purchased before, but maybe they're related, and maybe you need those things. And so let the customer decide what they want from a user experience. And I think it's very dangerous to make assumptions about what our customers really want. So do some research, and then based on that research, put some of these things into practice. And if the data is telling you that you need to go with more and invest more and improve your e-commerce platform and improve your customer experience, then you need to do that. Okay, that was my first question. Man, that was just one question, and I don't know how long I'd spent on answering that, but you can see when you're asking these questions, the more detail that you give me, the more detail I can give you back on an answer. So really good question there from Mississippi. Wish you guys the best. I have decided, by the way, to keep the names, what is the word? Anonymous. I'm going to keep the names anonymous just for the sake of competition. I don't want you guys to feel embarrassed, because I know a lot of your competitors are probably listening to this. And so we're not going to name any names. And if you don't want to say where you're from or what you do, that's fine as well. All right. So, do we have time for one more question before our break? All right. So, teaser. We got more questions to come after the break. We're going to do a quick break. I'm going to back out, and then I'll come back with two more questions. Our next question is from a manufacturer who is in data spreadsheet hell. So we're going to hear about their situation and come back, and maybe we can help them right after the break. We were made for this industry. We've been learning, listening, and adapting for over 15 years. But I feel like we've only just begun. From the beginning, our mission was to help industrial suppliers grow their business. Today, the world is spinning faster than ever before, and we refuse to slow down, because nothing less than the future is at stake. For many of our clients, we are the bridge between yesterday and tomorrow, helping them seize the moment today. They say tigers starve last. Are you hungry? Are you playing offense, attacking the market and driving change? Or are you retreating to the boardroom, trying to figure out how to survive? Everything we do is about building relationships and brands that stand the test of time. So yeah, we're crazy passionate about helping you transform your business. That's our legacy. What's yours?
When ordinary signage won't do, armor up with a protection that's powerful enough to survive any environment. Duck Armor by Accuform. Designed to protect against scratches, scrapes, and impacts. Built to endure damaging chemical washing, graffiti resistant, and able to withstand UV yellowing or fading, plus cold weather cracking. Duck Armor is the original liquid laminate coating, pioneered by Accuform. Don't fall for a decoy.
Huh?
Get Duck Armor. We don't send strongmen into battle without armor. Get the sign coating you know will last against harsh abrasions, tough chemicals, taggers, and extreme environments. Duck Armor is tough enough for scratches, scrapes, impacts, weather, washing, sun, graffiti, and... What are you doing?
Oh, I was just gonna...
What? No. Why would you do that? Like all liquid laminate signs, Duck Armor's ultra-hard surface cleans easily, like water off a duck's back, and it withstands tough conditions, keeping your sign and message clear. But only Duck Armor can protect more than your signs, with over 90,000 products armed and ready. Not like that. Don't pay for protective coating on cheap sign material. Duck Armor gives you superior coating on premium signs at no extra cost. All the protection without the bill. Your facility deserves the best protection on the best signs. Durable and resilient. Light as a feather. Duck Armor has you covered.
All right, welcome back, guys. So we started off helping a regional industrial distributor work through some questions of revolving around e-commerce and customer experience. And now we're going to switch gears. We're going to kind of go to a different part of the supply chain, and we're going to hear from a marketing director at a safety equipment manufacturing company. Hey there, Matt. Love the show. Keep up the great work. I'll keep it short and to the point. We are getting hit up every day, it seems like, by our sales team or distributor partners about product content for their websites. The problem is that all of our data exists in Excel sheets, and all of our distributors are requesting that our data be formatted for their website, and it seems like everybody is using something different. This is a huge logistical nightmare for our small team. Is there anything that can help us automate these requests? And do we need to think about hiring a full-time data cruncher? Best regards, Product Data Hell. All right, Product Data Hell. I feel you. And I really feel you because you're a marketing director at a safety equipment manufacturer. You do not need to be spending all of your time working in Excel. It's scary to think, or even if your team is spending a lot of time in Excel, I'm sure this is not what you want to do. And I can kind of feel the angst in this note, and I can really feel that you're looking for a silver bullet answer here to the product data question. But it's a question, first of all, that I gotta say it's very common. You're not alone in feeling this pain right now. This is something that I think most manufacturers and even larger distributors, they're really frustrated with kind of the disconnect around data between, as it relates to manufacturer data. First of all, creating the data, making sure that you have enough of it so that people can make buying decisions online. Because this is what we talk about. I don't have time to go on a long rant, but I'll go on a short rant. And this is what we talk about when we talk about the buyer's journey changing. And this has caused all kinds of disruption for manufacturers and distributors. So what we have is, we have this Amazon effect where people are used to going onto a product page and viewing multiple photos of a product, a video, maybe 2 videos, reviews, user reviews, all kinds of detailed information about the product, shipping weight, dimensions, long product description. Sometimes these product descriptions are like 2-3 paragraphs. They're reading a novel. And that is a far, far cry from what has been done traditionally in industrial distribution. So what you're getting a lot of these retailers, your distributors, who are building out websites to answer this Amazon effect to create a user experience so they can compete with their competitors are online. And as a manufacturer, it's up to you to provide them with this product data, and you're feeling that crunch. So your question is that wasn't answering your question, I know, but I just want to give you some background on why this is happening, why you're feeling this pain. But your question is there something better that we can use? Is there something that can help us automate these requests? And then your second question is, should we think about hiring a full-time data cruncher? So, yes, the answer is yes. The first thing is that I would say that every manufacturer and distributor, for that matter, who sells more than, let's say, 50 or 100 different SKUs, I think you should think about purchasing a PIM. A what? You say? A PIM, P-I-M, Product Information Management System or software. A PIM is really important today. And if you're not familiar with what a PIM is, you can go look it up. Go Google Product Information Management. But here's basically a simple description, right? So a PIM can store almost any information involving a product, such as the description, pricing, product configuration, options, details, sizes, shipping, logistics, taxation, and other related items like even product reviews. And a PIM can help you make and configure a limitless variety of product information. That's important. I'll get back to that in a minute. With its accuracy and flexibility, product information management software becomes your reliable source of product content. It is essentially the one source of truth. And as every marketer and merchant knows, product content translates into a better user experience, a better customer experience. This is something that I've been obsessed about, basically, is customer experience. And that Amazon effect, we talked about what is happening there. And the reason why we're struggling, and some of us are struggling, and why others are absolutely killing it, is I think the difference is right here in the world of data. And I hate to say that because honestly, I'm a creative person and I can't stand data. But we need it. We need it badly. And we need a system, and we need tools, and we need processes in order to use this data to grow our product categories, to grow our lines, to grow the brand, help give the distributors what they need so they can sell for us. And we need to think long and hard about whether or not we're investing in the right places. And I would say a PIM is one of those places where we should think about investing if you haven't given it that much thought. So there are a couple of good ones that you can look at. So I just wrote a couple down here. These are ones that I have worked with. We, in fact, at SpinStack, we have a PIM. And it's a proprietary PIM that we developed. It's integrated into our e-commerce platform, and it works extremely well for small to medium-sized distributors. So, like, our distributor clients don't need a PIM because SpinStack is their PIM, and it's connected to their e-commerce website, which makes it very convenient. If you're a manufacturer, what we do is we go out and we request data from our manufacturer partners, and we bring that in-house, we manipulate it, we clean it up, and we load it to our PIM. So if you're a manufacturer, here's a couple of good ones that I know have worked well for others, and hopefully they work well for you. Number one, Salsify. Salsify is spelled S-A-L-S-I-F-Y, and encourage you to look that up. I'll include links to these websites in the show notes. Salsify it's a good one. My father's business, Accuform, uses Salsify, so that's one you can look at. Very familiar with that one. Akeneo is another one, A-K-E-N-E-O, Akeneo. That's another popular PIM. And one that we've worked with in the past is called Enterworks. definitely recommend you looking into Enterworks. Enterworks works fantastic. Really good also for printed publications. So if you want to take your data and keep it in one place as the one source of truth, and then syndicate that data out to your website, and maybe create a brochure, and maybe create a catalog. This is a great tool that allows you to do all of those things. So a PIM is fantastic. So what a PIM can do for your business is, so if you're a manufacturer, think about this. So I can connect it to my ERP, right? So I have my one source of truth connecting into my ERP system so that I can create these products or order these products. And on the other end, my PIM can be configured for my largest distributors. So, every manufacturer deals with both national distributors and small regional distributors. And what you can do is you can then configure your PIM and even integrate with other distributors' websites, so that, let's say that you're working with Grainger, and you want to sell directly to Grainger, and you can actually build your PIM so that it completely integrates with the Grainger website, so that when it's time to add more products to the Grainger website, it's just as simple as select, and then boom, hit the button, and it syndicates that product content out to the Grainger website. Similarly, you can do the same thing for your small regional distributors, and usually they're going to be working on, it's funny you said, everybody's got a different website, and I feel your pain. When you're a distributor, there's so many options, right? So like I said earlier in the show, there's like the P21 e-commerce platform, there's the Magento, there's BigCommerce, there's Shopify, there's SpinStack, and so there's a lot of different options out there. But when you have a system and a process in place, what you can do is you can receive that request from the distributor, hand that off to somebody who owns the PIM, and that person can build the catalog for that distributor and syndicate that content. And once they build it one time, then you can come back year after year, and then it's so easy to do. You just push the content to that website. It's really, really great. You can offer print quality content, so high resolution images, as well as web optimized images, and you can give those files to your distributor partners, and they can sell your product online or in a printed catalog. So that's like kind of the power of a PIM. So I really recommend you look into that. If you haven't thought about using a PIM, go do that. Do your research and check that out. And to answer your last question, should you think about hiring somebody to manage data? I can't really answer that question for you. It really depends on the number of requests that you get, depends on the size of your product library. But my gut feeling is you should think about, hiring somebody who is exclusively responsible for managing product data. It's just that important. So we have a team here that manages product data, and not unlike a typical manufacturer, we work with hundreds of distributors. So we even us, we're a small company, but we found a need to have somebody dedicated to managing product data, updating this. So you hit this something like, for example, the Proposition 65 that just was passed in California. Something like that can throw such a wrench into your workload, right? I mean, it's something you weren't expecting, but now you have to go in and update all of these product records and get that content out to your distributors. So the amount of time and resources that it takes to do that, I do think that it's a good investment, not only in investing in the software, but once you do that, you have to have somebody completely owning that part of the business. Just my 2 cents. Okay, now I think I have time for one more question, and I will move into this one. Looks like another distributor. Hi, Matt. Loving the content and the new show. Thank you. We attend between 7 to 10 trade shows each year where we generate a lot of interest, collect leads, but our sales team has a hard time following up. Surprise, surprise. Typically, we send a follow-up email, but we have no idea how to track the ROI on these shows. We are wondering what you see out there. Are these shows worth it anymore, or should I just invest those dollars into digital marketing? All right, so the question really, it's I kind of hear two questions out of this one note. The first question is, should we even do trade show marketing, and to what degree? And the second one is, how do we follow up so that we can prove ROI? And I think they're related, because I think you end up inevitably having this frustration because you can't prove the ROI, because you're not getting the follow-up, because the sales team's not closing opportunities that come directly from the event. And so that makes you question whether or not you should even show up at the event. So we've got to answer these questions. This is really important, because 7 to 10 trade shows, that's not cheap. So I know you guys are spending a lot of money. I don't know how far you're traveling. I know you're regional to some degree, but that's still, you're paying for hotel rooms, you're paying for the booth, paying for the advertising at the booth, you're paying for all the product samples. There's lots of things that go into running an effective show, not to mention all the time that was put into it. So you have to be able to determine ROI. So first, I'm going to answer the question about how to track ROI from a trade show, and then I will see if I can answer the idea of, whether you should be there. So the way that you do this is you have to start integrating some digital marketing into the traditional marketing. So we joke around here, we call it tradigital. You have to get tradigital out there, right? You have to start using some of the smart marketing tools and automation tools that are available at your disposal to begin tracking these events. And so here's just an example of what I'm talking about. First of all, you can set up a landing page on your website. Okay, this is not difficult to do. Don't get freaked out when I say build a landing page. I don't mean you have to write code. There's lots of software out there that allows you to just WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Drag and drop. Build a landing page. Customize it for the show, so that when people come to that landing page, they know, okay, this is because I am at this show, and this is somebody who is exhibiting at the show. And on that landing page, you want to make sure you do a couple things. You want to strip away all of the navigation links at the top of the page and at the bottom of the page. You don't want people bouncing off that page. You want to be very, very laser focused on the content of that page. You want to give away a special offer. So every trade show you should have some sort of main call to action. And I'd say anywhere between 1 to 3 different call to actions, because not everybody's going to bite on the specific call to action that you have there if it's just one. So you might have to offer a couple of different variations. But you offer these incentives or these special offers, and again, it's only for people that go to the show. So you reward people who went to the show, who visited you at the booth, with some sort of takeaway. Now that could be a coupon code to purchase on the website. That could be, a free sample. That could be a free consultation, something like that. Something that you're going to give away as a reward for them coming and giving you their time to come by your booth. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to create a automated follow-up. So what we're going to do is we're going to collect the leads. We can do that a lot of different ways. We don't need to get into that necessarily. But you're going to collect those leads, and you're going to take those leads and you're going to drop them into a email marketing automation tool, something like HubSpot or MailChimp, something that will allow you to build a list of people who are leads out of this show. And then you're going to send these people on a drip campaign. So it might be several emails. So 'cause you don't want to just give up on the first one. That relates to your question as well. Your sales team's not following up. You're sending out one email follow-up, probably not going to do it. It takes a lot of different touches in order to get somebody interested and get them on the phone with one of your sales reps. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to run this email campaign, and on the landing page, there's going to be a form for them to fill out, and there's going to be places for them to click. And if we are connected to a CRM system, HubSpot's got a free CRM. No reason why you can't go build this free CRM and this landing page on a really strapped budget. And then you'll be able to track that lead. You'll be able to see, okay, this lead came from this show. They opened up this email. They went to our landing page. They accessed the free offer. Then you send those leads to your sales rep. Your sales rep then has a follow-up sequence. And the follow-up sequence is, this is going to blow your mind, guys, because this is what it takes to really follow up. It's not just an email and a phone call. Oh, I didn't get a hold of them. I left a voicemail. I guess that's it. I guess I'll just move on. No. You have to be doggedly persistent when it comes to follow up with marketing qualified leads, okay? This is not going to be easy, but if you have a system and a process in place, you can see amazing results. And what you have to do is this. You set up a system where you're holding your sales team accountable. I prefer a CRM. Again, HubSpot's free CRM. Guys, I'm telling you, it's fantastic. I use it myself. And what you can do is you can task your team with the follow-up. And then you can go in there as a sales manager, as the owner, and you can see that either they're following up or they're not. It's as simple as that. But you put them through a workflow that says, give this person a phone call. If you can't reach them on the phone, leave a voicemail. Once you leave a voicemail, send an email. Wait 3 days, send another email. Wait 2 days, phone call. If you didn't reach them on the phone, leave a voicemail, then send an email. Wait another 2 days, connect with them on LinkedIn. Wait another day, send them a message on LinkedIn. Wait another 3 days, send them another email. If they still haven't done anything after that, give them another phone call. Leave a voicemail. And after that, if they still haven't connected with you, send a follow-up email and break up and say, hey, obviously you're not interested, don't want to waste your time, peace out. That's what it takes to really follow up. And if I don't have the numbers, I'd like to do a little research. Maybe my team will help me on this. But I wonder if the percentage of people that actually follow up, what it takes, 10 to 20 touches, I bet you that is like single digits. I bet you single digits of sales reps, professional salespeople out there actually follow up that many times. So a CRM can help you hold those people accountable. And because it is connected with those landing pages, you'll be able to track the return on the investment. So when they do close into a customer, you'll be able to see, I got this customer at an average lifetime value of X out of this show, and I needed to get 2 of them in order to pay for the show. That's measuring ROI. And no, I would not stop going to the trade shows. But what I would do is, if I have a limited budget, I would cut that budget down, make sure that I have enough dollars in my budget to afford some of these basic tools like a CRM system, like an email marketing automation tool, and email and landing pages, and build those into my event marketing. That will be a recipe for success, and it will be something that we'll be able to show your ROI on. All right, guys. Well, that was a mouthful. Those were just 3 questions. I had a couple more. We don't have time for them. But here's what I want you to do. If you enjoyed this Q&A session and you'd like to have your question read on the takeover, it's as simple as this. Shoot me an email, matt@thetakeoverpodcast.com, and I will look through them, and chances are I will read them on the show. Give me some details, give me some context about who you are. So just tell me, are you a distributor? Are you a manufacturer? What your role is, what you're struggling with, and that'll help me answer those questions. And I look forward to hearing from you guys in the inbox. Well, that's it for today. Until next time, I'll see you on the takeover.